Well, I created SAVIC because I thought that we needed a vehicle in order to inform students, and definitely in Concordia there was a link missing between politics and Concordia students. I think that it's not that they were apathetic, it's just a lack of information. So we serve as kind of creating fun debates for students in order for the political parties to say what they need to say through us and not in a biased way. So Aboriginal relations is incredibly important to Canada in general, for everyone to get involved and to understand the issues, especially with Idle No More. It's a timely issue. The youth is getting involved, and I think that it's something that we should all really understand deeper.
We need to get back to the main issues that undercut.
Involved in politics because every decision that's made by any government affects us all, and actually we can see how effective involvement can be just by looking at political conventions, looking at the latest leadership race in the provincial Liberal Party recently, where almost, I believe, 1/3 of the delegates present at the convention were youth, and they actually changed the whole dynamic of the weekend. I think it's important for governments to discuss Aboriginal issues because there is a huge divide between the living conditions of Aboriginal communities, First Nations, Métis and Inuit peoples, and the living conditions of the rest of us, non-Aboriginal people in Canada. When you talk about unemployment, healthcare, education, housing, basically every issue that affects us fundamentally, that we base our livelihoods on, they are at a disadvantage. And it's not worth blaming people, not worth talking about the past, I don't think. We have to look at the future.
And I mean, if we want to talk about nation-to-nation respect, I mean, one of the things that you need to be considered about is that you have to treat the other person as a nation. So I think it's great that SAVIC is coming out and getting students to get involved in politics, to get informed about the great social debates and the great national debates of Canada. One of the reasons that I'm participating is because, like many conservatives, we believe that one of the next frontiers in social policy that needs to be undertaken, needs to be reformed in Canada, is the whole First Nations issue. We have a lot of work ahead of us, a lot of work to do, a lot of big issues to resolve, and we believe that with the oncoming decades, the years ahead, we're gonna be able to do some inroads in getting the First Nations issue up front and central in Canadian news and political debate.
Because otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for direct actions like Idle No More.
I study environmental science here at Concordia. I think that it's really important for students to get involved in politics because it's important for us to have our voices heard and to make sure that issues that are important to the youth and that are important to students get their place in the party system that for too long has been controlled mostly by people who are in their 50s and 60s. I think it's important for us to discuss Aboriginal issues in every setting possible, and I think that particularly it's very important for the parties to develop their policies a lot more towards Aboriginals because as we can see in the reserves, it's really third world conditions, and this is a consequence of repeated failures from consecutive Liberal and Conservative governments, and we hope that by having these debates that we're able to build better policies that will better take care of people who live in Canada.